myself firstly, before saying that I'm so terribly sorry. I should start with saying this. I'm Udalova. I'm the founder of 7Taps, and 7Taps is a mobile-based microlearning tool. And actually, as for this slide, I just wanted to make some highlight of who I really am, beside being a founder and microlearning addict and e-learning innovator. So you can see just some nice photos to get the impression that about the person of who I am. So let's proceed. Actually, I guess we won't make it through the whole experience that I've prepared for you, unfortunately, but I'll try to be short and at least keep it simple and at least try to be try to deliver the messages I wanted to deliver. So I'd love to start with giving some highlights of the effective microlearning. And the first issue I'd love to speak is the definition, because actually it all comes from the definition, right? And unfortunately, despite being on the L&D scene for a pretty long time already, microlearning is still something that has lots of bias and prejudice around, right? So just recently I asked my network, my LinkedIn network that mostly consists of L&D professionals and e-learning leaders, of what microlearning must be according to their thoughts and according to their experience. And actually I got lots of words that you can easily find while surfing internet or looking at the web pages of some microlearning tools vendors, like relevant, concise, simple. You know, I guess all these words are pretty familiar to you, right? So the question here is that even understanding that your micro content should be short, sticky, and sweet, that's the question, how you can come up with such kind of content, right? And for example, the first question I'd love to highlight here is, what's the ideal length of microlearning experience? Because there are lots of debates in the field about it. So avoiding any extra explanations and some kind of stories prepared for you, I love to state here that despite some experts claim that the length of microbytes could vary from, let's say, 30 seconds to 10 minutes, depending on the use case, depending on the environment you're trying to use your micro content within, my take on it is the following: 5-7 minutes per learning nugget is pretty enough. First of all, you should try to stick to one learning objective and try to narrow down all your presentation, all your content according to it. And 5 minutes is, I would say, kind of the gold timing for the byte to be easily consumed by a learner without getting bored, without getting distracted from it. And if we proceed, I'd love to give kind of a situation here. Actually, this story is like an average experience while trying to embrace the microlearning approach within the organization happens. Like you're an instructional designer or e-learning manager, and here knock knock. Hey, we have a problem with poor customer service. We need to come up with some learning content for our sales team. And you start thinking maybe microlearning, micro content is the ideal solution for it. So the first step to define here is, what's the core problem? Because this will help you to come up with the understanding whether actually microlearning could be applied here. So as for the core problem, actually, you have to be really, really curious and trying to dive deeper in what's happening actually with this concrete team you'd love to create content for. Because actually, if we speak about some drawback in customer satisfaction score, like poor customer service. There could be several reasons for that, and not all of them can be solved via creating some micro content, for example. I've heard of some stories where the reason of poor customer experience was just because it was too hot in the shopping space right before the COVID broke down. And actually that was the reason customers were irritated. So as you can see, no content could ever help you overcome this situation, right? Then try to come up with desired business outcome. And here I'd love to highlight that this is very close to what you should think when trying to implement any e-learning content. If you have a clear picture of the desired business outcome, you can understand what your learning objective is. And thus, it will help you to evaluate the actually outcome of your learning experience, right? And as for the micro-learning, as for the micro-content, there should be definitely one really easily measurable activity, measurable goal you can actually take a look at the end of your experience, right? So what you should be able to track afterwards, and what actually business should, how business should benefit from your content. The last but not the least is the learner's portrait. Actually, I guess this very debatable thing in the L&D field, because everyone speaks about trying to being relevant, trying to be in somewhere really close to your learner. But when we speak about the real implementation, real content creation, sometimes we just try kind of skip some findings, trying to appeal to everyone with everything. But unfortunately, that's difficult to do that in the real world. So if you can make some groups of your learners, that's fine. And I guess it will only be helpful when trying to create really engaging and really effective kind of content. But if you just could not, try to make an average picture, not speaking about some kind of demographics, but try to think where your learners are, what kind of content they just prefer to consume in their real life. I mean, TikTok, Snapchat, I know, Instagram stories, they're all bite-sized kind of content that people consume in their real private life, and they're absolutely enthusiastic about it. So if you understand that's the true story for your experience, you might think that microlearning is the solution here. And if we proceed with trying to find the right spot for your microlearning experience, I'd love to highlight here that generally there are two big fields where you can apply the experience with. The first of all, it's the part of a bigger scheme when you enhance your existing e-learning strategy with some pre-training warm-ups, or you deliver some prompts and reminders between training sessions, or you just try to improve knowledge retention by delivering some follow-ups, some prompts, some do's, don'ts, how-tos after your conventional training sessions. The second field of microlearning experience, I would say, covers the so-called standalone modules. I speak here about job aids, some quick instructions your learner can turn to, can recall something or can learn something new, and they can get back to their work immediately. So let's proceed. Here I'd love to share with you a real story. Actually, this is the screenshot from the 7Temps user. They've implemented 7Temps, I guess, for 6 months, and this report was to analyze whether their employees are satisfied with the microlearning experience, how they perceive it, what do they think about it. And actually, all the numbers are thought-provoking here, but my favorite number here and favorite statement is that the votes of employees tell you the truth. 50% of those reviewed say that they prefer micro courses than full product trainings in form of webinars. And what actually does this statement tells you about? In my point, it tells you that good learning is always a blend of experiences. Don't try to follow some microlearning concept because they're trendy, because everyone speaks about it. It's not about being trendy at all. It's about delivering great message. It's about trying to achieve your business outcome, and it's about changing your learners' behavior. That's all. If you can just do it using your conventional learning formats, that's all right. But just keep in mind that you can always enhance your existing e-learning strategy, your existing e-learning tool set by adding some microbytes, by appealing to your learners, by using the way of communication they are fond of, they are used to. I'm trying just to cover everything since I'm really out of time here. Going deeper into the content creation tips, I'd love, first of all, to start here with the explanation, the difference between microlearning and micro content, since I actually see pretty often somewhere on LinkedIn or some blog posts when people can't tell the difference between microlearning experience and micro content actually, but the difference is huge. One standalone information byte or standalone course is not a microlearning, or to be more precise, not yet, right? Microlearning is any kind of other learning experience, needs some reflection, practice, feedback, some metrics, right? So microlearning becomes microlearning when it's the right set of experiences, and it's not just something that you deliver and you never get back to your learner with your feedback, with evaluation, how a learner actually can implement this kind of content within their working activity. As for the micro content, I'd say that nowadays we are really spoiled for choice. There are different formats, there are different technologies you can use to embrace this approach. You can come up with nice video, great audio component, or picture infographics, or you can build some engaging 7 tabs byte. And first of all, I guess engaging, this word comes first, since everyone everywhere keeps talking about it. So what does engaging actually mean? And here's the kind of explanation I found somewhere on internet, and it really resonates with me in the term of the L&D field. It means drawing attention and tending to please. So if we speak engaging content, I'd say that the first step to come up with such a kind of content is to make sure your content is relevant. So I'll just quickly name the points included. You should follow your learning objective. Don't try to squeeze in everything within your learning byte. Try to keep it as narrow as possible. Thus, you'll be able, first of all, to evaluate the result, and it will be more clear to learn what you try to deliver, what kind of behavioral change you are aiming at.
Okay,
Secondly,
Kate, can I interrupt you a minute?
Sure.
And I know we're kind of running out of time and running into the next session. Can you kind of cut to the chase, if you will, and show us the 7 tabs?
Sure, of course.
and I didn't mean to step on your presentation, but I think people are wanting to see it as well as understand, because I agree with everything you said. It makes total sense.
Sure. You can't see my screen right now.
Yes. Yes.
I just need to make a new share.
Okay.
Okay. Do you see it now?
Yes.
Super. So that's just my 7Tabs account here. And here are some courses I created previously. If we speak about being a very first user, you can start with just hitting create a course button. And actually, as for 7Tabs, content creation is so fast and so simple here that I don't really think you need extra explanations how to deal with it. Here on the left, we have different types of content you can use within your course. For example, it can be a code with some text and some visuals. Everything is really easily editable. You can use quizzes. You can add options if you'd like. You can add multiple comments or multiple answers. I guess the main feature that can really make you lots of fun and is really warmly welcomed by learners is AI generated videos. So you can type or paste your script, any text. We support more than 40 languages here, and we will generate video for you automatically. You can also choose between different types of speakers. Also, you can always upload an audio file, kind of a voice message, and you can easily make any edits if anything changes with your content. You can use link cards, so you can interlink your bytes. I mean, for example, you can create 7Tabs byte as an intro for your conventional let's say articulate or RISE course, and thus trying to warm up learner before diving into the conventional learning experience. Let me show you how the already created course looks like. So here we see several cards. I can play around with different templates, trying to make some visual here. I can add branding. I can always preview how my course would look like on learners' devices. And as for the 7Tabs, also the main feature here is that you can share your content in a click. We have plenty of sharing options, starting from sharing it with a link. You can just copy it and paste it, for example, on your LMS within your conventional course, or you can put it on your web page or share it via messengers. You can print a QR code, really funny feature, since it helps you to kind of unite your offline experience with online one. For example, now people get back to their offices, and you can come up with some 7Tabs course on safety instructions. You can print QR codes and put them on any spot, and your learners can scan the course simply with their smartphones and get access in a click. As for the learners, they do not have to use their passwords. They don't have to download any app. They just click on a link and dive into content immediately. This is our well-informed decision. We try to remove all the possible barriers for learners, so their experience is just incomparably smooth. Also, you can send your course via email, via SMS, or you can use iframe and embed your course on any web page. I guess we're running out of time completely, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. And you've even answered some of the questions that came up on the chat, so that's good. I know that we do have your email address. We can connect with you. I know that because of time zone differences, you can't come back for our 5 o'clock time, but maybe we can arrange another time for you to address our group as well.
Absolutely, I would love to.
Okay, we'll look into that. I know we can always connect with you either through me or through Vanessa. do we have any other questions from the audience before we move to the next presentation? And we're definitely sorry about that you had so much trouble with the internet. Okay.
Thank you, Juliet. I see the question from Juliet about can anyone who doesn't have an account access the course? You don't need to have an account in 7 Tabs to access the course. Actually, you can share it with anyone in the world, and it's only for you as a content creator to think of who your learner would be. So as for learners, they just simply get a simple link, or they get an email, or they get SMS, and thus they dive into your content.
Okay, great.